So, no video. Made a few videos today, most of which will get deleted, but we'll see. So, as you can tell by my setup here, I am welding some guts to my forklift forks. Because, well, here's my screw. I almost said my screw. That's David's squirrel, not mine. So if I lay this down here, as you can plainly tell, these are not even close to being square anymore. This tip is down, I don't know, 5-6 inches from where it's supposed to be. I don't like that. I can no longer tilt the mast of my forklift back far enough to even bring the forks to level. So I've seen, like all the big box stores and warehouses I've dealt with, all the idiots they hire to run the forklifts, for whatever stupid reason, they think it's necessary to drag the forks on the ground. So my forks went from being this thick to being this thick. Can you see a difference there? And you know, up here the thickness is a little more. Down here it's a little less. I don't know if it's some kind of stupid OSHA safety bullshit. I don't know if they're just lazy, they like being destructive of equipment, if they're just mentally retarded. I don't know. But I watch all of them. They set the forks on the ground. They tilt them back a little bit so the tip doesn't catch on anything. And they drive all over the place with the heel of the fork dragging on the ground. If you're afraid of hitting something, I don't know why you couldn't, pick it up off the ground maybe a couple of inches. It's no less of a tripping hazard. It's no more of a tripping hazard. It doesn't change anything. Your center of gravity is still very low and you're not going to tip it over. I don't understand why that'd be so complicated to do that, but for some reason it is. And as a consequence, I buy old worn out equipment. The heel is worn to half the thickness that it was originally. So I use the forklift at its rated capacity or thereabouts, sometimes more, sometimes less, and my forks get bent a lot. Now, I've tried getting new forks. I have. I genuinely have tried. Went as far as paying a little over, I think $2,400, I want to say. Picking up a new set of forks, bringing them back, and granted they were a little heavier than this, they were wider than this, and they were 8 feet long instead of 4 feet long. I got them home and realized the clips that came in my old International compared to what was standard nowadays, no longer compatible. It no work at all, not even a little bit. So that was wonderful. Took them back. They gave me a refund. All was good and right on the world. Called around a handful more places. Found some people online who would make me a set of forks, dimensions I wanted, either same as this or longer. I would like longer ones, and would weld on this style clip that fits my International, which apparently just isn't a standard thing anymore. All the new ones have a taper heel where mine are square. Not a huge deal, but just a little annoyance. They wanted $2,500, and it was 6 to 8 months out. I use this thing pretty much every single day, hence why I'm up at nearly 4 in the morning patching these. I can't afford downtime with it. I depend on this machine a lot. So, solution is band-aid these and continue searching for no serve forks. Reasons you shouldn't do this. These are 4140 heat treated. After heat treated, supposed to be heat treated after you weld your clips on. It's not always done, but it's supposed to be that way. So by doing this, especially welding on the inside of the fork, or on the side of the fork in this case, I am creating a very brittle spot in here where most of the stress is. If you don't know what's wrong with that, then go ahead and try it, and maybe you'll drop something on yourself or your buddy. This is not supposed to be done. You should not weld to devices that are under a tremendous amount of strain on a steel that is either unknown or known, in this case, be 4140 and supposed to be heat treated and annealed after welding, which I'm not going to do because I don't have a heat treat oven this big. And also devices that are going to be potentially hoisting things above someone else or yourself or things of value. This breaking could be a whole lot more costly than a custom-made set of forks, and even if I absolutely had to, renting a machine until they came in. This could end badly, hence why you shouldn't do it. And I'm doing it anyways, because I'm a genius. Yep. There's another one like tonight's projects. I'm going to add this onto the fork thing. If I were to cut a radius, something like you see here, and there's obviously a point where it's so shallow, it doesn't matter. There's obviously a point where it's so exaggerated that you're weakening it, making it weaker than it would be otherwise. By leaving this, if the weld cracks, it's going to start cracking from the end. Okay? Never starts in the middle. It always starts at one end or the other. Sharp corners create a stress riser right here, which just so happens to correspond with the end of my weld. It's a double whammy. This is very likely, plus I'm welding to a hardened or a high carbon steel, in this case 4140, that it's going to be brittle by when you weld to it to begin with, so triple whammy. Point in saying this, a radius here would alleviate some of the stress here. It eliminates this stress riser, making this actually stronger and lighter at the same time. Am I going to bother with that? Probably not, but theoretically that'd be the best thing I could do for this particular circumstance.